Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Manning Field for Greater Boston League Girls Soccer. Lynn Classical, under their first-year coach, Jessica Gambale, having an outstanding year. They're 11-2-1. They're a half game out. They got a loss and a tie in the GBL. Medford has only a loss. So they're half a game out of first place. They won it last year. They're taking on Malden, 5-8-1. Malden looking to get a split here. They defeated Lynn English. Classical looking for a sweep against Malden. They beat them at Malden. And we're just about set to get going. And the lights are on here, but the sun is still extremely bright. So as usual, if you look to your left, if you're sitting in the stands or up here in the press box, you get blinded because it hasn't quite set yet. And it still looks a little shadowy down on the field because the lights haven't taken full effect yet. Malden in the white. Classical is in the black, and this is their breast cancer awareness outfit. Lauren Wilson with a bunch of shutouts in net for Classical. Abigail Morrison in net for Malden. As they kick it deep, Classical will get there and trying to get around. They carried it out of play. Another big day here at Manning Field. Girls played the first game on their senior night. And I believe it's Lynn Tech boys coming up at 7:15. One of the few times we've started right on time. That first game is important, kicking off at 3:45 to keep everything in line the rest of the night. I told Coach Kimbali I no longer like Delaney Dana, one of her players, because her father's a great friend of mine, head coach baseball at St. Mary's. She made me look awful bad the last game. I kept saying, that can't be number 20. It's got to be a different number. I kept picking up as maybe it's got to be 22 or 21, because it can't be Delaney Dana, because I would recognize that bright blonde hair that she has. And I found out afterwards, Ava Thurman filled me in. Delaney Dana got rid of the blonde hair and colored it brown. So every time I said that can't be Delaney Dana, it was. Trying to push it down the near side. Juarez got broken up. Malden knocked it out. Classical will get the throw in. The hard part is, for myself and my crew, the camera people, picking up the numbers and trying to figure out who scores the goals. Because first and foremost, the numbers are hard to pick up. And then secondly, especially for the girls, when somebody scores, the 10 people on the field all surround everybody and go into a circle. And they cover up the girl that scored the goal. And more often than not, when we announce who got the goal, we're not correct. Make sure we get the numbers of the goal scorers. But they followed me up last night. They gave me 3 people that were not correct. Corner kick coming from the far side, the first of the night. Bounces out in front. Malden will clear it away. Classical had a shot on it, but it bounced by them and Malden cleared it away. Now they knock it deep, and it's going to go out of play. And it goes out off Lazo. Get knocked upfield by Escobar, and then they blew the whistle for contact. Malden will get the free kick. 5 minutes in, Classical had the ball around the net, didn't have a shot to score. Malden hasn't come close. As Classical knocks it away, Thurman knocks it loose, and Thurman's got a break. She's going to walk in. She's so quick, walking right in. She might have pushed it too far, and she did. She had a break. She pushed it ahead once. The second time she pushed it, it was almost over the end line, and she tried to sneak it in, hit it off the side of the net. She had a huge opportunity. She's so quick. She walked by everybody. She walked in, but the last time she touched it, she pushed it a little too far. Shot blocked out in front. Classical gets the rebound. It bounced off the top of the crossbar over and out of play. That might have been Papazoglou over that other side. But Thurman usually take advantage of that break. She walked in and just trying to tip it ahead to go get it. She tipped it too far and had no angle at all to get it on net. And goalie Morrison said, "Thank you very much for doing that," because I'm sure she was thinking, what am I going to do here? They knock it away. Malden pushes it up. And Classical kicks it back. They tip it by down that far side. Collecting. Still with it. Trying to center it out in front. They centered it out in front. As they lined up the shot, referee blew the whistle because she was out of bounds when she centered it. Classical will make a substitution. Classical blocks it, takes it away, pops it to the middle, tipped, trying to get a shot off, can't get the shot off, back, tipped by Malden, is still loose out in front. Malden finally gets a foot on it and knocks it away. Classical all around the net, but can't get a real good shot. And here they come again. Down that far side, they tipped it back. Classical gets to it. Shot just over the top crossbar. It slid to the near side. I think that was Thurman. Got a foot on it and just knocked it over the crossbar. Classical keeping it in. Malden can't get it out of their end. Down deep again. Malden takes it away. To the near side. Trying to throw it out in front. There are a couple of Classical people out in front, but Morrison dove and picked it off before it went by her out in front, and she'll boot it away. Classical doing everything but putting the net. Off the side of the foot, knocked down. Malden knocks it out of play. Rick Casita is the head coach of Malden. We mentioned Jessica Gambali in her first year. She became the coach, I think, like a week or two before the season started. She didn't know she was an assistant. And all of a sudden, the coach quit. They booted out in front. It gets by everybody. Classical keeping it in. Shot from long range. Morrison, I think, might have got a piece of it. It goes out of play. If she did, it'll be a corner kick. She didn't, so Malden will kick it away. 10 minutes in to this first half, no score. Bouncing around, looking for it. Was Juarez. Classical trying to take it away. Kicked up field. Picks off the pass. Looking to walk in. Couldn't get a foot on it. Malden tipped it away. Classical's just keeping it in the Malden end. Classical breaks it up. Broken up by Escobar. And Classical keeps it in the Malden end, and now Malden knocks it out. I'm looking over at the Classical side. They only have one sub. I just made a substitution, so they have two. Shot goes off the side of the net from deep in the end zone. Malden finally gets it in the Classical end. Wilson will finally get a chance to touch it with that long kick out near the 10-yard line. And she boots it high in the air past midfield, and it's right back in the Malden end, and Malden heads it back further. And Classical is going to knock it out of play. They try to give it back, and he gave it back behind the oncoming Classical player, and she knocked it out of play. Winding down the soccer season, Kaylee Bullock, who usually plays defense, is up front. Gets knocked into the Malden bench area. Classical will throw it in. this being Tuesday, this week and next week will be the end of the soccer season until we get into playoffs, tournament time, and then who knows where they'll play then. Classical's got 11-2, and he probably will not get a home game. They're going to be ranked way down because they rank the Greater Boston League way down. Well, subs for both teams. Corner kick from the near side. Out in front, it bounced off a Malden player right into the lap of Morrison. She'll grab it and kick it away. As we're 15 minutes into the scoreless first half. And that sun is no longer a problem as it sets behind the trees over in Pine Grove. Malden just took it away. Carenti picked off the pass. Bullock knocking it deep. It skips past. Parker's got a break, and she knocks it wide right. It deflected off a Malden player. Parker was going to the net all by herself. And he caught up with her and just got a piece. Her shot went wide right. They give it back. Walking in. Defense caught up. They threw it back to Duncan. She didn't take the shot right away. She tried to push it ahead. And a great job by Malden stepping in and knocking it away. She was all by herself walking in. Elected to try and get a little closer. And it cost her because Malden was able to break it up. Malden got a piece of that shot that was going wide. Classical picks off the pass. And we got a whistle. I think they're calling offside. So Classical just inundating Malden in their end. Malden can't get, the only time they get out when they kick it deep. And Classical takes it right back. It's been in the Malden end virtually 100% of the half. Classical's had a couple of opportunities. The kick goes into the Malden bench area. But they haven't been able to really test Morrison at all. Thurman with a break, pushed it too far and had it shoot from a horrible angle, hit the side of the net. Parker had a break, chipped it wide right. And then Duncan would have had a break. She tried to push it one more step, and Malden stepped in and knocked it away. Classical takes it away again. Pushed down the far side. Classical with it, trying to center it. Morrison will play it on a couple of hops. And that's the way this first half has been going. Classical knocks it back again. Yeah, they knock it into the Classical bench area. Classical makes a substitution. Here comes Classical again. And Classical, we had 3 players downfield. They were way offside. Classical picked it off. Pushing it down is Duncan. Gets around. Classical looked like they were offside again. Parker was way out in front. Duncan has it taken away. She gets it back. Trying to throw it in front. Malden blocked it. Duncan gets it back. I think that was Flaherty keeping it in. Malden knocked it out. And Classical will get a corner kick. Coming from the near side. Halfway through and counting this first half. No score. Greater Boston League Girls Soccer. Lynn Classical. Malden. Malden is the Golden Tornadoes. Classical, obviously, the Rams. Out in front, Classical got a foot on it, but pushed it away from the net. Popped up down that far side again. And Malden knocks it out. Bouncing loose. Classical got a foot on it and knocked it out. Picked it, walked around, throwing it out in front. They threw it right to Morrison, a little ground ball. He threw it more on net rather than try to center it with a player out in front. And Classical again. Pushing it down that far side. Malden knocks it away. And Classical takes it away. And he pushed that a little too far. Malden will knock it out. Thurman will put it in play. Headed away. Again, it winds up in the end, but with a long kick. Now Classical going to kick it out of play. Correnti and Malden will finally get a throw, and they haven't come close to being anywhere near Wilson. That kick was deep. Correnti just knocked it out of play, so Malden will get their first throw-in the Classical end. First time we've had to look down to the left. And now they turn it over. And Classical Wilson's going to kick it away. So it didn't last very long. As we get a substitution for Classical. And it's Correnti kicking it away. And Thurman knocks it off Malden. Off McWayne of Malden. And Thurman will put it in play. And she throws that a long way. And it winds up back on the Malden end. and winds up with a break for Classical. It's still loose out in front. All they could do was just get a toe on it and just kind of tip it. They were running, the ball was running away. They had to reach for it. They kind of tipped it to the net, and he tipped it right into the lap of Morrison. I don't know if that was Lazo. Pushing it down the far side, still with it. Out in front, it went right by everybody. It stayed in bounds. Classical saved it. Malden picked it off, and they take it away. And he knocked it again back deep. And it goes out. Now we'll have subs for both teams. "15 minutes left in the scoreless first half. Classical takes it right back on the Malden end. Malden takes it away. And Classical takes it back. Walking around. Trying to center it. Walking in and knocking it home. Great rush down the near side. I thought it was Correnti out in front, and Papazoglu was in perfect position. And all that pressure finally pays off. It could have been De Leon. Hard to pick up the numbers, as I say before. And with the rush down the near side and a perfect pass out in front and wide open out in front, and all Papazoglu had to do was just touch it and knock it home. So we'll give them both credit, De Leon and Correnti. I suppose I should throw Flaherty in as well, number 10. It looked, I could make out the one. It's hard enough to pick out the numbers from any kind of a distance, but then when they have long hair down halfway down their back blocking their numbers, it makes it even more difficult. But all that pressure finally paid off. Classical looking for their 12th win. They got 14, more than that, I think. They got like 16 or 18 wins last year, and they were ranked like 47th and had to go down south to play a game. Ball's going to go out. And I believe we went out off Classical. Give it back to Bullock. She knocks it to the net. Malden picked it off. They knock it up and they knock it out. So now they've moved Kaylee Bullock back on defense. And they knock it home. I think it's Papazoglu again. She's got 2. One up on her foot just to the left of Morrison. A couple of steps away from that far post, the left post. And easy pickings for Papazoglu, and she's got 2. And Classical's got a 2-0 lead. And with just over 11 minutes left in this first half, we're going to get a timeout. So just over 11 minutes left. Classical they were buzzing all over the net, couldn't get anything on net. Malden couldn't get the ball at their own end. Classical finally cashes in. Papazoglu gets 2. And that's where we are, 2-0 Classical. Again, knocking it deep is the only way it gets there. Classical lets it go out. And Classical knocks it out. Kaylee Bullock chipping it out. And goes out off Classical again.
English and Everett girls. English and Everett girls.
Coming down the near side. Going to make the pass. Malden picked it off and knocked it out. And we'll get a substitution for Classical. Hard to keep everybody fresh when you only have 2 subs. 10 minutes and counting left in this first half. Classical well on their way to win number 12. And staying within a half a game of first place. Oh, gave it away. Classical takes the shot. High, wide, off to the left, and out of play. Now, I guess, fighting for the ball over that corner. Malden knocked it out, so English is going to get a corner kick. Coming from the far side. Classical get their body on it, but couldn't get it to the net. They got knocked away from the net. And Malden knocks it further away, and they knock it out. Malden will track it down in the far corner. Classical trying to back check, going to get called for contact. Malden, I think, will get to kick it away. Malden's deepest penetration. They still have the ball. Classical takes it away. And Malden knocked it out. We'll have substitutions for Malden. We were wondering if we were going to get this game played with the teachers' strike in Malden. I think the other place is Arlington, but this being Tuesday, late last night, or sometime yesterday, they came to an agreement in Malden so it was a question whether this game was even going to be played with maybe the schools being closed. But they're back in. But if the other one is Arlington, they are still out. So not having school, I'm assuming that any activities for Arlington High School would not be played. It's kind of hard to believe that we can't come up with a legitimate package to properly pay all these people who do an outstanding job working with the kids in the schools. Not easy, especially with a lot of students speaking none or very little English. A lot of different classes, a lot of different situations that used to be just reading, writing, and arithmetic. Now there's a whole lot more involved. And you have to do an awful lot more work as a teacher. And they do a terrific job. Here in Lynn, when you look at the newspaper and you see at graduation time and you see the list of schools that our students are going to, you realize what an outstanding job these teachers do. We're lucky to have the people we have. And I can't believe we can't come up with a satisfactory. It would be like with the police and fire. You don't think of them until you need them. When you need them, you want them to be there. So those are the kind of people that should absolutely be paid. No, I'm not well versed in paying all those tons of money for people in college, the head guys who don't teach the classes, but get paid a big bunch of money, and it costs kids extravagant tuition money. But I am all for paying the teachers and the police and the fire, the EMTs, our service people. You know, they do so much for so many, and they put their lives on the line. I don't know how many of us would like to go fight a fire or go into a house with somebody shooting back at you, or try to pry somebody out of a car that's on fire or smashed. You know, they earn their money, that's for sure. So we certainly should pay them properly. And I'll end that conversation there before I get myself in too much trouble. Classical with the shot, and they knock it home. It bounced out, and they got a left-footed kick, and they knocked it home. Tatiana Lazo. She was sitting back watching everybody try to get the ball in front of the net. All of a sudden it popped out. It was on her foot just inside the 10, and she just chipped it in the back of the net. Tough goal to give up for Malden with just over 2 minutes left. It makes it 3-0 Classical. You couldn't have been in a better spot for Lazo. Everybody around the net, nobody could get a foot on the ball. It popped loose right at the 10-yard line onto the foot of Lazo, and she did a nice job chipping it home. So we're in the final 2 minutes and counting as the scoreboard clock will be turned off. Time kept on the field by the officials. A dominant first half by Classical, and for a long time they couldn't even get a shot on net. They finally have, and they built it up to a 3-0 lead. 2 by Papazoglou and now 1 by Lazo. Malden pushes it up. They get by 1. They knock it deep. Malden's got the ball in the Classical end. First time ever down here. And Classical blocks it. Malden gets it back, but they're going to knock it out of play. That's the deepest penetration. They had a throw-in down deep, and they turned it over. That's their deepest penetration, carrying it into the Classical end. The field has certainly been tilted to the right of your screen. Blocked, knocked down, and knocked away. Trying to push it around, Malden knocked it away. That was out off Bullock. They blow the whistle, and that's going to do it for the half. So it took a while for Classical to get going. They dominated totally in the Malden end. They finally got shots on net, and it paid off. Papazoglou got them on the board. She got another one, and then Lazo got the third, and that's where we are. 3-0 Classical over Malden at halftime. Welcome back to Manning Field as we're just about set to start the second half. Total domination by Classical in the first half. And it took them a while through the better part of the first half. They were all over the Malden net, but didn't really get any shots on net or make Morrison, the goaltender, work to make stops. And then they finally opened up. Papazoglou found herself wide open in front of the net. The pass came across, and she banged it home. And that started the first of 3. And that's where we are. Papazoglou got a second, and then Lazo added 1. And all that domination finally paid off. Malden carried the ball into the Classical end once. And that was it. They never came even close to getting a shot on net. They carried it down in, didn't get a shot off, finally got taken away, and Classical took it right back to the Malden end. Other than that, the only time Wilson has touched the ball is when times like right now, when they kick it deep and she comes out and either catches it and kicks it away, or in that instance kicks it away. That's the only time she's touched the ball. They haven't come close to forcing her to do anything that would even resemble a save. Classical knocks it out. So you get the throw in down deep. And they'll get it a little deeper. And it goes out. Off Malden. I think it'll be Correnti kicking it away. Blocked. Classical blocks it again. And Classical knocks it deep. Thurman got a foot on it, got blocked. And she gets it back. Pushing it down the far side. Blocked. And knocked out by Malden. She got around one, but then the deep center fielder for defense for Malden was back there. Shot blocked by Malden. Classical was open for the kick. They kicked it short of the net, high and out of play. They've had a lot of those. Missing the net, on top of the net, over the net. Blocked. Malden trying to carry it out. Classical breaks it up. Trying to knock it deep. Malden finally takes it away and carries it at the Classical end. Tip. Malden almost looked for a breakaway. And he couldn't get by the defense. Off the side of the foot. They went off Malden out of play. They almost were in position to get a shot. They knock it deep, looking for a break. Classical's there. Blocked by Morrison, a tremendous save. And it got knocked loose again, but Classical couldn't get to it. Tremendous save by Morrison. And she makes another save there on the bounce. That was a great save. Classical walked in alone. Morrison came out a step and just blocked it nicely. And then when she blocked it, it was still alive, but Classical couldn't get a foot on it. So Morrison keeping her team somewhat in it. As we got a whistle. Now the ball went out around the 25-yard line. The referee said, no, you can't take it out there. You have to take it back at the 40-yard line. I still can't get used to any of these rules and regulations. I don't know who made these up. Glasgow keeps it alive down that far side. Trying to throw it in front. They get it to the net, but Morrison is there to pick off the ground ball, and she'll kick it away. I mentioned before, another full day here at Manning Field. We had Kip girls play on their senior night. As Bullock knocks it away, back into the Malden end. Knocking it deep, down the near side. Malden will let it go out of play. So Kip played the first game. Classical's playing this one, and English girls will play the next one. And talk about winding down the season, English girls will play Everett in the next game. And then on Thursday, it'll be the big one, intercity rivalry, English and Classical doubleheader, boys and girls. And I believe it's their last home game for English. So the season is winding down with soccer. Trying to push it to the far side. They knock it deep. Bryn Bullock gets there and knocks it out of play. Wilson was coming out to get it. Bullock breaks it up. Malden player went down. And they're going to hold it up. She went down. Bullock coming back to a collision with Bullock and the Malden player. Thank God she's getting up. That's Kaylee Bullock coming over to make sure she was okay. Bullock went up to kick the ball up field, and they made contact. She went down. She's walking up, but she's walking on her own steam. So that's good to see. Just over 31 minutes left in this second half. 3-0 Classical on top of Malden. They're going to give it to Wilson to kick away. And she boots it, bounces well past midfield. Thurman trying to knock it down. Instead, Thurman gets knocked down. And Malden knocks it out. I haven't mentioned that. I always mention Ava Thurman, out, very good basketball player. And takes after Dad. Tony Thurman was outstanding athlete at Classical football. He was on the Bob Hope All-American TV show. Basketball. He's still part of the best basketball team I've ever seen in the city of Lynn. Bingham and McGee and company. And her uncle Eddie. Both those Thurmans are very good friends of mine. Eddie was an outstanding player, basketball and football. And they were both outstanding athletes in college as well. That great basketball team, I always brag about the fact I got to coach them, and really all I did was sit on the bench with them and watch them play, but I was considered the coach of the night because Louis Falcoff couldn't coach, and it was a charity game at Salem High School, and I got to sit on the bench with those guys and watch them play. They were outstanding. and they helped me raise some money for my CYO basketball team when they played an exhibition game against Cambridge Rins. Classical was state champs, Cambridge state champs, and we had to play the game in Revere because they wouldn't let us play in Lynn. And we made some money for St. Joseph CYO. And Lynn Classical beat Cambridge. Classical almost kicked it by. Carrying it down that far side, using their speed, looking to kick it out in front. Morrison gets there first. She got crunched. Classical player got bumped by a Malden player, and he wound up falling into Morrison, but Morrison held on, and she'll kick it away. We're right next door to the ambulance. I don't know if it's Cataldo, but the ambulance group. And every once in a while, you get to hear we get to see the bright red lights and the sirens. And I always pray that wherever they're going, whoever they're going to see is going to be all right. You know. Knocked out by Malden. Pray for all those having those difficult situations, that they get through them okay. And there's another goal. Papazoglu gets the hat trick. In the right place at the right time. Sitting on the doorstep, knocking it home. And as we mentioned, Classical well on the way to win number 12. And they're right back at it. And normally you would say, in a game like this, call off the dogs, let the bench play. But Classical can't do that. They only have 2 subs. Malden looking to knock it deep. Bullock is there to knock it back. Bullock knocks it back again. Tip. They tip it ahead to Thurman, breaking down the near side. Looking to center it. Knocked down. Papazoglu off her foot. Popped up. I think they called Classical offside. Classical knocks it up. Malden knocks it out. Headed away by Malden. Blocked by Classical. Malden pushing it up. And Classical takes it away. That's Bullock again. She's playing well back there defensively. Headed away. And it's Kaylee Bullock knocking it up. Malden trying to knock it deep. Bryn Bullock knocks it away. I have to make sure I mention both Bryn and Kaylee because there's two of them. Just like there's Rachel Dana and Delaney Dana. Classical knocked it away. She was standing out of bounds. Malden will get the throw in. 15 minutes into this second half, all Classical. They got 3 in the first half. They got 1 here in the second half, leading 4-0. 3 of the 4 by Mayor Papazoglou. Malden knocks it deep. Wilson coming out all the way to the 10-yard line. She'll field it. And that's virtually the only way she's had to touch the ball all night. Coming out of the net, getting those long kicks. She hasn't had to make a save yet. Popped straight up in the air by Malden. They had one almost breakaway that they looked like they might at least get a shot off, and he pushed it wide right. Pass down. Nice stop by Morrison. She left the rebound momentarily. Nice pass from Papazoglou. Down the near side to Thurman. Thurman got the good hard shot off. Morrison made the nice save. Hauls it again. Knocks it deep. And it goes out of play off Classical. So Malden will get a throw in down deep after we have substitutions for both teams. Classical clears it away. And they knock it past. They got 3 on 2. They knock it deep again. Malden gets there first. And they keep it in. Good defense by Rodriguez. Hustling not only broke up what could have been a breakaway, but kept the ball in play. And now Classical gets the pass, but they were way offside. I think that was Flaherty. Bullock knocks it deep again. It skips past. Malden will get there first and kick it out. And it goes out off Malden. I thought it was off Malden. They called it off Classical. Classical battling to try and keep it in. Malden knocks it away. Classical picks it off. Malden's just content to kick it deep and get it out of their end. That's about all they can do. They haven't come close to Wilson in net, and we're halfway through and counting this second half. Classical with a 4-0 lead. Knocked into the Classical bench area. And went out again off Classical. I guess they call contact on Classical because in that mayhem, Malden's going to get a kick. And Classical picks it off and knocks it away. They get by the defense. They knock it deep with a break. Thurman down the near side. Trying to take it back to the middle. Pass. Shot got blocked. Lazo looking for it. Gets the pass upfield. Broken up again. And here's Malden knocking it away. Blocked by the defense. He tipped it ahead, looking to go get it. They walk in. It got tipped and knocked wide. That was Papazoglou again. She tipped it by the defense. It wasn't, it was Kaylee Bullock. They tipped it by. She went to go get it and just got a toe on it and tipped it wide left. From long range, the kick is going to go way wide right and out of play. Takes it away. Pushed it too far. Malden kicks it away. And it's going to go out of play. Substitutions for Malden. They knock it deep. Classical blocked it. That was Correnti, I think. Down the near side with Thurman. Pushing it. Trying to get by. Blocked by the defense. Thurman goes around and gets it back. Slides it ahead for Duncan for the shot. And it goes wide right. Good hustle by Thurman to set up a scoring opportunity. Yeah, we got another substitution for Classical. Classical with it, trying to walk in. Malden blocks it. They take the shot, blocked again. Knocked out by Classical. And banged out into the Malden bench area. Trying to knock it deep, can't do it. Classical blocked it. Ahead to Thurman. Pushes it by, walking down that near side. turns, takes the shot, hit the post. She made a great play. She got down inside the 10, spun back to her right, got around, lined it up, drilled it, got it by Morrison, and hit the post and bounced out. She's had all kinds of opportunities. None better than that, taken away by the post. And now here she comes again. Dumps it off. Blocked by Malden. Classical knocks it deep. Morrison makes the save. They try to shoot it, center it. There was a body out in front looking to maybe tip it home. Morrison didn't let it get there. She made a nice save. She's played very well. She's given up 4, but not really her fault. I mean, they've been all around the net. The offense hasn't taken any heat off Morrison in net at all for Malden. He looked to knock it deep. Classical's letting it go. And Classical finally knocked it out. Knocked upfield, Papazoglu. Gives it to Thurman. And Thurman, she thought she was tipping it to Papazoglu for a little give and go, and it just stayed stationary. It didn't go anywhere. The pass didn't go anywhere. Malden broke it up. Upfield. Knocked away. Thurman knocks it away again. Malden knocks it out. Malden just has not generated any offense whatsoever. Lauren Wilson could have bought a ticket for this one. She's just sitting. The only time she's come out of the net is to go up around the 10 or 20 yard line to field long kicks and kick it away. She hasn't had to make a save. Classical takes it away. Those 50-50 balls have been all Classical. They pick off the pass. They knock it close. Morrison comes out. The net is wide open. Morrison couldn't make the save. They got the shot on net. Morrison made the save. It popped loose right onto the foot of, guess who? Papazoglu. She was behind the goaltender with the ball, had a wide open net, and she gets her 4th. She's having a career night. Thurman tips it by. Looking to walk in. She got the shot. More a pass out in front. Looking for a tip. Morrison picked it off before anybody could get a foot on it out in front. Otherwise, Papazoglu might have 5. Papazoglu with it. Walks around. Morrison picks it off. That was going to go by, but there was a body out in front that might have redirected it. And there was a body further beyond the net that might have had a shot at it. Morrison took it away from both of them. As we got 10 minutes and counting left in this one. 5 goals for Classical, 4 of them by Mia Papazoglu. Broken up and knocked deep by Classical. Papazoglu with it. Tried to take it to the middle. She beat the defense, but then it popped off her foot. Malden took it away. And Classical knocks it deep. Duncan got a foot on it. Knocked down. I think this is Lazo pushing it down the far side, trying to center it. Malden picks it off. They give it right back to Lazo. Lazo got knocked down. I think Klaus will go to a free kick. We haven't too many of these. Kick is going to come from, I think, just outside the 10-yard line. Right at the 10-yard line from the far side. I think it's Thurman taking it. And she knocked a perfect kick. She knocked it in. Thurman with a perfect kick. So it's a game of ones. Number 1, Papazoglu has got 4. And number 1, Thurman has got 1. I think they blew the whistle for a sub. Sub was coming on. They put the ball in play. And now they'll do the kick again. So Classical with 3 in each half. Easily going to pick up their 12th win. Malden will have to wait for their 6th win. The only thing left now is, never mind what Malden score, will they get a shot on net? Because they haven't had one yet. It goes out off Malden. Mainly because they haven't had the ball in the Classical end. If they get it there, it doesn't last more than seconds. They blow the whistle. I think they call Classical offside. It's going to go out off Malden again. Blocked and taken away by Classical. Trying to walk around. Malden broke it up. It rolls back. Morrison has to come out. She had it, bobbled it, and then drove on it, recovering the fumble. She has been so busy in net. Honestly, when you look and say she gave up 6 goals and then say she played well, you look and say, what? But the score could be a lot more. But when you have to make that many saves and you have to get in your net and your team is not helping you out, I mean, Classical could have a lot more. Malden bangs it off Classical. The magic 5 minutes. The clock is now stopped at 5 minutes. The officials will handle it down on the field. I still don't understand how that happened. Because it could be just like football. You could look up in the press box and say, put the clock at 6:20 or 7:15 if there was a delay and people knocked down or there was stoppage. Knock it deep. England's going to get there and keep it in. And they threw it right to the net. Morrison made the save. Winding this one down, it's going to be a tough bus ride back to Malden. This is the deepest penetration they've had with control of the ball. They lose it very quickly, and it gets knocked back upfield as bodies go down. Classical will get the kick. Bounces by. Classical couldn't keep it in. They couldn't get a foot on it. Just waiting for the official to blow that whistle. Classical dominated early in the first half. Couldn't get really anything done. They didn't really have any shots on net. And then finally, a great rush. We think it was Carenti. It could have been De Leon. Could have also been Flaherty. We'll mention them all, give them all credit. But the pass came from down deep, the right side, out in front. Papazoglu all by herself. Caught it and just banged it home. And that was really all Classical needed. Made it 1-0. They added 2 more in the first half. They added 3 here in the second half. They lead it 6-0 with the clock winding down. Papazoglu with 4 of the 6. Maya Papazoglu. Tatiana Lazo scored 1. And that perfect free kick from the 10-yard line. Thurman just perfectly placed it right over the goalie's head under the top crossbar. Just couldn't have been any more perfect. She got the 6th goal. That made it 6-0. And Lauren Wilson is going to get the easiest shutout that she's had all year. She's had a bunch of shutouts, but she's had to work for a couple. Tonight, the only time she touched the ball was when it got kicked deep and she came way out of the net to field it and kick it back up in the Malden end. Malden did not get a shot on net. They didn't have it in the Classical end in control more than 3 or 4 times, and that nowhere near the net. When I say that, they were down, maybe down around the 20-yard line. And everybody's just waiting for the whistle to blow. Also knocks it out. Right in front of the Malden bench, they throw it in. So breaks it up. They blow the whistle, and that'll do it. So Classical will pick up their 12th win. They'll go to 12-2-1. Malden will drop to 5-9-1 as Classical sweeps the series against Malden. They do it in great fashion. Papazoglu with a night and a half gets 4. Lazo gets 1. And that picture-perfect kick by Thurman gets her a goal. They get 3 in each half. They pick up their 12th win of the season. They at least stay a half a game out of first place, hoping that somebody can knock off Medford and get them in the first place. But right now they're 12-2-1. Malden 5-9-1 as Classical wins it behind 4 goals by Mia Papazoglu. 6-0 Classical over Malden. We hope you enjoyed it. I'm John Hoffman saying we'll see you next time.